Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into these questions. These are questions that I took from the comments section of my last several videos. Okay, so number one is, why not just take a picture and paint at home? That's a good question. There's three reasons. One, when you take a photograph or a digital image, the shadows tend to be really dark, and so you can't see any color or any sort of detail in the shadows usually. Oftentimes they show up as black. So if you're after sort of a feeling of light and luminosity in your paintings, you've got to get color and some detail into your shadows. So that's number one. Number two is, I just like being outdoors. I find it a lot more inspiring to stand in front of a subject than to sit indoors looking at a computer screen or a photograph. I do still do paintings from photographs and digital images, but that tends to be larger work, and it's not my favorite type of painting to do. My favorite is to be outdoors. And the third reason I like to paint on location is that when you have a photograph, you're limited to the information that's in that photograph. When you're out on location, you can pull a tree from outside of your field of vision. You can pull it from the left, from the right. You can use elements that are around you and bring them into your composition. Okay, number two. Will I ever sell prints? I don't know that I will sell prints. I'm looking into it. I might possibly, but I think what I'd rather do is maybe sell smaller, more affordable paintings. I used to, when I first started painting, I would do 6x6 paintings for $100. That's how I started. Those were really popular. I was able to kind of get things rolling with selling those online. But then I started showing in galleries and stopped doing that. So it's a possibility that I'll set up my website to sell, you know, like say small paintings like 5x7 or 6x6s. Let me know what you think. Okay, number three, do I prefer softer or firmer bristled brushes? So I tend to like large, sort of medium soft bristle brushes. And I use a lot of synthetic brushes because I find that they last longer. They're more expensive though. But I'd just like to say that I really like, you know, to encourage experimentation and just try different stuff, because I'm constantly doing that, and it's weird. Like sometimes I'll have one brush that I think, oh my God, I found the brush, and you know, and I love it for a month, and then maybe I pick up something else and I say, oh, this is really great, you know. So I think it's good just to experiment and come to your own conclusions. But I think flats are a good way to go. You know, that's a good starting point. Do I ever make mistakes in composition that can't be corrected and I need to start over? Not as much anymore. It does happen. So as I've said before, I think composition in your painting is like the most important thing. And if your composition is bad, your painting is not going to work out. It's the whole idea of like building a house on a bad foundation. If you've seen my videos, you know, I'll sketch out in burnt sienna, and then maybe I'll sort of shade in the areas where the shadows are, and then I'll take a moment and step back like 15 feet from the canvas or the panel, and I'll look at it and I'll say, okay, how does that composition work? How does it read from here? And really, you know, try to solve any problems at that stage before laying in the color and laying on the thick paint. Because if you're just sketching in burnt sienna, you can just take, you know, you just wipe it out and re-sketch or whatever. So since I've started doing that, I've had a lot less like major compositional problems, but it still does happen sometimes, and it usually happens when I rush myself. If I take my time and really think about the composition and you know, take that moment after I've done the sketch to walk back, look at it, and be honest about whether it's going to work or not. If I do that, then I tend to be okay. But occasionally still it happens, and if I'm like into the painting process and I've already laid down some thick paint, I'll just take my palette knife, scrape it off, work it out, you know, re-sketch it, try to solve the problem, or I'll just like scrap it all together and paint something else. Will you be my teacher? Actually, you know, I'd like to teach. I've been considering that. I've been wanting to teach for years, probably like outdoors, doing, you know, like plein air workshop type of thing, like maybe a one-day thing or a several-day thing. I'm not sure. I'm open to it. Let me know in the comments if you're around the Bay Area, or, you know, I'd even be willing to travel if there was like enough people in a certain area. Like say there was like 5 or 6 people that were like painter friends that wanted to put together a workshop in a place, and it would be worthwhile for me to travel there. So I'm definitely open to doing workshops. I was thinking of like around the Bay Area here, maybe doing like a 1 day a week sort of recurring thing, like say every Friday for a month kind of thing, or who knows. I would probably do outdoor painting, and it would be for people that have already have the equipment and have some kind of knowledge. So that would be my thoughts. So let me know down below what you think, and if you'd be up for that. I don't have my glasses. Oh, what are the use of mediums in painting? Mediums are a way of thinning your paint without compromising its ability to stick to the canvas or the panel. Does that make sense? I hope so. And it also helps the paint go on. Do I have plans to travel and paint over the winter and make videos about it? In particular, painting snow. Yes, I'd like to paint snow, and I was thinking maybe of doing a trip up to Yosemite. Yosemite Valley is beautiful, so I could go do some snow paintings up there. That's a possibility. And I've often thought, like, I'd like to do, as soon as like the financial elements, align, then I'd like to paint in every state in the union here. So, it's like I've only painted in California, Massachusetts, and Maine. That's it. I haven't painted in any others, I don't think. No, I haven't. So I thought it'd be kind of a fun thing to set that as a goal at some point for this channel, in fact, is to go to different states and go and paint. I think that could be really fun. So as the channel grows and and my budget sort of increases, then I definitely hope to do that. So, if you want to help the budget increase, hit that Patreon link below. Much appreciated. I'm hoping to get back east and do some stuff like in the New York, New Jersey area, maybe in early November, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. We'll see, but you will find out soon. Okay, and then the last question I have is, how do you approach a gallery? So I know a lot of painters, that's kind of a goal, is to get in galleries. The thing I would say about that is that I think that you should be selling paintings on your own first before you approach a gallery. Let's say you've gotten to that point. You've had a few little shows, you're selling some paintings online. I think at that point, then when you approach a gallery, you just, I would typically just email them, look on their website, contact info or whatever, and just inquire, like, I'm interested in your gallery. I think that my work is a good fit for your gallery. That's another thing that's important to do. Be honest with yourself. If your work does not fit in with the work of that gallery, then you're wasting your time trying to approach them. So look for a gallery where you say, okay, my work fits in with the aesthetic of this gallery. And when you find that, when you find a gallery that's a good fit, then you would approach that. And also price-wise, you want to make sure that your price range, like if this is a gallery that's showing very, established artists with really high prices, you're going to want to start off at a gallery that is more open to beginning artists, or, So it's be realistic about the gallery, then email them and say, I'm interested in showing in your gallery, what's the procedure? The other thing you can do is ask, do you have any group shows that are open to new artists? A lot of times galleries will do that. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. I'll probably do another one, I'll do another one next month or whatever. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to Patreon. Patreon has invited me. We're going to do lunch over there, and then they've got this sort of rooftop patio with views of the city in San Francisco. So I'm going to bring my paints, do a social media thing, have lunch and whatever. I have no idea what's going to happen, but hopefully I'll bring my camera and vlog it, so that may be the next thing you see. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.